All right, and I believe we are now live. We are now live. Can everybody hear us?
Hello.
Has
And
this
see us.
actually
And
miraculously
see us.
started in the correct way? Like, have I actually managed to achieve this? Have I managed to get everybody's audio?
Are we
All right,
here?
all right. We are all here, and it would appear that it's all working.
Visible.
Can we have radio check from everybody, please? Arjun S Ravi, say hello.
Check.
Hello,
Azeem
everyone.
Banatwalla, say hello.
YOLO.
Scherezade Shroff, say hello.
Hello.
Charles Leclerc, fire pitch strategist. Hello and welcome to the Sidepod. As always, we're here. We are here to review, to do the postmortem.
Forgot something very important.
And that right there is Azeem Banatwalla reenacting Ferrari pit strategy in real time here. But I could say that this is supposed to be like a post-mortem / bisection of the entire Hungarian Grand Prix, and we could, as we do every week, go through the entire sort of field of drivers and be like, oh, this was good for this person, and this was not so good for this person, and we could go up and down the field, and we could do all of those things. But really, there is just one story, and it is the story of the potato. It is. I stand by my assessment, Azeem, that it is wrong for you to call the Ferrari pit strategy a potato, because potatoes grow and show growth, and I stand by my that it is not at all the case. But one by one, starting with you, Mr. Arjun S Ravi, the story is Ferrari, and the story is just, what is the story?
Yeah. I mean, no
Is
offense
that
to.
story?
Because no,
Yeah.
and the reason I want to start with Arjun is because in the last episode, Arjun was the one who made the impassioned and very eloquent point that the only thing al dente in Ferrari, and I'm quoting directly here, the only thing al dente in Ferrari is Carlos Sainz. How's the pasta this week, Arjun?
Oh my God. It's over by like 3 days. Gordon Ramsay would look at this pasta. Like you saw a few races ago, Gordon Ramsay was in the Red Bull pit garage. I think Gordon Ramsay is staying far, far away from the Ferrari pit garage right now.
But that's
Yeah.
where he would film the next Kitchen Nightmares, logically.
Probably, yes, exactly. My God. I mean, no offense to Yuki Tsunoda or any of the other drivers that competed the race. I think there's really just one topic of conversation that
I love
that
how
encapsulates
no bias. Anybody who
Yeah.
completed the race.
the race. It's great. Yeah, we had some good on-track battles and everything, but there is just one big story of the Hungarian Grand Prix. Yeah.
Yep. Very, very sad. I mean, the amount of things that went wrong at so many levels for Ferrari is just absurd.
Astounding.
So, it's astounding, and you considering that there is no excuse for the fact of saying ki, Arey, we started on medium tire, these other guys were on soft tire. Well, Hamilton was also on medium tire. All you had to do was just look at two garages away from you and say ki exact same strategy hum log karenge and we will get 1 and 2. But they just, I have
Like the
no
whole
idea how
time
they
I was
managed
watching
to
and I was
bottle.
like, hey, Ferrari garage mein Hotstar nahi aata hai kya? I'm not kidding. My entire story, unke paas Hotstar nahi hai kya? Because your use, you know what, and Sherry, I want to get your opinion on this also, but just I take issue with your use, Azeem, of the word went wrong. Went wrong implies that, the weather fucked them over, or there were things outside of their control. They did things wrong. Those things, that mistakes were made. To use a political term, people made those mistakes, so they didn't go wrong. They did wrong. They did horribly badly wrong. On that note,
They are
Scherezade
wrong.
Shroff, do you have a contrarian opinion, and would you like to
Yeah,
tell us?
I mean, either they are, I just feel like, I don't know what they're doing. Either they're trying too hard or they're not trying at all. Like, I don't know what's going on there, because it's like, oh, we can't do anything that anyone's done. Let's do something that's completely atrangi. It's either that's the plan, or there's like, oh guys, we just have no plan, like whatever. Like, I mean, I don't know what's going on, but I mean, I'm happy with whatever's going on there. It went well for me. But as a viewer, it's just like, you're like, I mean, what the hell is going on here? Like, after a point, I mean, I like literally, like, we had this conversation last week and we were like, no, guys, now it's going to be like do over, start afresh, and and here we are again.
Yeah, and
It's like there is L plan and there is hell plan, which is what Ferrari has.
yeah.
Pretty
It's
much.
unbelievable.
There's a video that Formula One uploaded on the official YouTube channel. Okay, it's called "How Max Verstappen Won the Race," and it's a really nice 12-minute, very dramatic cut. Of
You need
this
12
Grand Prix.
minutes to tell me how Max Verstappen won that race?
But stick around for the last minute of that. Okay, and it's this super poignant music playing, like very melancholic, like sort of piano, like the Avengers have
Like
disappeared
anime
into
ending
the
music.
ether. Yeah, like that kind of thing. Like there's a Thanos snap has happened, and people are wondering what is going on, and it's synced to the team radio of Charles Leclerc and Carlos Sainz talking back to the pit, okay, and asking what happened, how are we here? Did the hard tire not work? Did the soft tire not work? What happened to our strategy? It's brutal. If you haven't watched that video already, watch it and stick around.
It's
till
an
the
official
end
F1 video?
Video, yeah. Official F1
Nice.
video. It's amazing. The editor deserves $1 million. Like, too good. Yeah.
Editor deserves to work in Ferrari pit crew.
yeah. Too good.
It's just what. So the thing that stands out for me is if you watch the broadcast, right? On the one hand, they're talking about, like, I've been trying to, like any other amateur armchair at this point, just fan. I've just been reading article after article and trying to understand, like just trying to piece it together, right? And I read an article, and again, I mean, take these articles with a pinch of salt, but one of those things was a quote from Binotto saying that our data said that hard tires were the way to go, and we looked at the data, and the reason I'm bringing that up is because I want to contrast that. If we had an editing budget here, here's where there would be editing to an actual shot from the broadcast from the Red Bull garage. I don't know if you guys saw this, but just before the race started, and it's a guy with his fist outside the pit wall, right? It's just a guy with his fucking fist outside, because it doesn't matter what the data on the goddamn computer says. Sometimes you just stick your fucking hand outside
And see, barish hai ki nahi?
and what it tells you is that the temperature is way cooler than whatever it was when your data made its predictions on fucking Friday or Thursday or whenever the fuck it was, alright? And it's just, I don't know. I started watching F1 again for fun. I did not want to get worked up. I thought like I was done. I've reached this place of zendom in like my United fandom where I'm like, look, I will now just look at this as an adult objectively, and I thought I was watching Formula One for like in Monaco and the glamour and
I
shit,
think
and
you
I'm
need
just
to-
way too stressed now.
You should watch it as a comedy, and these guys are the Benny Hill theme track of F1 at this point in time. These guys are the sort of 2.5
No,
men,
it's
whatever
true.
it is.
It's true. I was talking to a friend yesterday, and that's exactly what I said. That every single other pit garage is Drive to Survive. This is the fucking office.
Yeah.
This one garage is the office for some reason.
Yeah. Like Ferrari get their own spin-off this season of Drive to Survive. Like they get their better call engineer.
Guys, do you see this ending, or do you think this is it now? This is what we're gonna just see? Because I mean, I just feel like every week it's the same thing. Like, I mean, I don't know, like what, like I mean, after a point you don't even know what's going wrong. It's so wrong that there's just like.
Like Sherry,
I just get that feeling. Sorry, just
No, please go for it.
I think this is possibly the best driver pairing to have been screwed over by a team. Like, I genuinely cannot think of two better drivers who have been together. Maybe you can think of Jenson Button and Lewis Hamilton in the McLaren days, sure.
Yeah.
But like in terms of like the raw potential, the raw pace that they have, like you give them the machinery, they fucking win. There is no doubt.
Yeah.
You give them the strategy, they win. There is no doubt. But everything that is possible that has gone wrong. There has been driver error, yes. There has been mechanical failure, yes. There has been strategy failure. How many times? There has been pit lane failure repeatedly, like twice in the same race for Carlos Sainz. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
How do you have as Ferrari, how do you have 2 5-second pit stops for the same driver when everybody else is doing 2.3 or 2.5 or 2.8 seconds? It baffles me. It's just, I don't know, there's
It's
something
also
very wrong.
amplified. It's amplified so much this season because it's happened typically in places where these sort of situations don't happen. We saw this in Monaco. We saw this in Hungary. Those are places where the only reason you cock it up is a team failure, of some sort. Because otherwise the track is such, and though we did have some good overtaking in all this race and everything, it was primarily because this shitty Ferrari strategy put them on contrasting tires to everybody else, so
but the data, Arjun, you see the data.
Yeah, the data.
The data,
This is
Mr.
like those
Goswami,
people,
the
right?
data shows us.
It's like those people who will be in a car driving and the Google Maps is telling them to go right and they're looking right and it's the edge of a cliff. But Google Maps is saying we have to go right. So now what do we do? I think we go right.
The data, you gotta trust the data.
Guys,
Plan E.
I think the issue is Latifi is not going into any walls. There's no drama, and they are like, we need to take
One
this
second,
on to
Latifi
create
was
some
first in FP3, guys. One
Yes.
second.
Yeah,
If we have to take
Yeah,
one
yeah.
detour today to admit
So
it.
that's
Yes.
why. That's why I'm like, Ferrari is like, we need to do something to create
Yeah.
masala.
And
kuch
also,
nahi ho
guys,
raha hai.
a very tragic story that Latifi, as of this race concluding, can no longer win the World Drivers'
Yes,
Championship.
He can't. He
Mathematically.
He can't. It's
Yes.
true. It's true. He's been
Oh,
eliminated.
damn.
It's broken my heart. It really has. It's you know what? I think he's won our hearts, and
Yes.
that's what really matters in the end, as Suraj Bajatia taught us.
Yes.
Yes.
In terms of money drivers, he's the favorite.
Yeah,
He's the favorite,
He's
yeah,
the
yeah, that's
favorite,
true,
hands
yeah.
down. One second, he topped like FP3. When they cut away to his garage, even he did not react for the camera because this was a new situation for him. He just sort of looks at the camera. And
Did
then
you hear
walks
the
away.
radio where it's like, were you all clapping for me?
Yeah. I have never seen anybody Forrest Gump their way
Yeah.
through F1. But no, man, like Ferrari, it's the sort of thing where, you know what, if this had happened in cricket in the 90s, no, I would have been like, you fixed it.
Yeah.
It's that sort of move, right? It's when a player makes a move so daft, you're like, you fixed it. Right? It makes you doubt, not... It's like this. No way this
in a
person would be
previous
so stupid that I should
Imagine
doubt the
this
integrity.
race at Eden Gardens. It's just that
Yeah,
stadium would have been burnt. by
Binotto was
Ferrari
basically
fans.
calmly crying. Okay, Binotto leaving was basically the calmly crying moment of the game. Okay, before we move on to opinion, quick super chats. Pranav says, for the first time ever, I went to an F1 screening and I went all out, wore Ferrari merch and was expecting an easy 1-2. And then disaster struck.
Oh, right. We empathize.
Possibly my quickest getaway. That's hilarious. Well, probably a quicker getaway than Ferrari. Muhil says, they don't even want to admit they effed up. Where will growth happen? Ferrari will always be bigger than the driver. Is that true? And I have one last super chat before you answer that. Gotifi in P1 says Abhishek, Gotifi P1 in FP3 and fastest in S1, Session 1, Q1. McLaren letting Danny Rick down by going on the hards despite his double overtake. L Plan Green 2023. So yeah, two things. One is Ferrari just always going to be bigger than the driver? Because now this is becoming a narrative, right? Which is that basically Ferrari is the graveyard of careers is the narrative now. Has been building for a while. And the other thing is, that was some slick ass overtaking by Danny Rick. And
I'll say sure he's gonna take the credit and say let's fucking go and all, but it was mainly the two Alpine drivers, just mainly Ocon just cocking it up for both of them. And before that, Alpine fucking it up for both of them because again they put them onto the hard tires, and even Ocon has come out of the pits and he's like, why car no stop? Why car not turn? Why you give us these tires? And Alonso's had one lap to figure it out, and it's just But actually, we obviously were bitching about Ferrari for hard tires and all, but they weren't the only team that did that. You had Alpine who did that. You had Mercedes. You had McLaren who did that. You had, I think, the Haas guys were on the hards as
Ferrari
well.
did it last, Azeem.
That's
After
the thing.
everybody else had done it. And fucked it up.
Means after seeing that it's not working, they're still doing it. That was what I guess. Like Like I think
I
even
mean,
Prompty
like that,
was
hum
like,
karenge to na
are they
chalega, tu
not
trust
looking
rakh,
at
matlab.
what's
Yeah.
going on with everyone else?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Maybe they just thought, considering they have like a faster car and the fact that I mean, I would have understood if you went like medium hard, straight up, one-stop strategy, just stay on the hards forever and then try to keep people behind. And
Which
you
is
have
what
the one
Alpine
pit stop
did.
advantage. Yeah, which is what Alpine did, and which
yeah.
is well, like, chalo,
Yeah.
at some level, I was like, you go onto a tire that is a second slower. I understand because you gain 20 seconds by not pitting.
Yeah.
But with Ferrari, medium, chalo, it made sense. Like medium, soft was the strategy to be on. We saw that with Lewis
Or
as
soft,
well.
medium. Yeah.
Yeah, whichever
Yeah.
one. In fact, medium, soft is technically the ideal one because you're on the soft tires on a lower fuel load. They will last longer for you as well.
Yeah.
So it made no sense for them to go medium, hard, soft.
Hard, soft. Yeah.
Like what?
What the fuck? Yeah.
Wow.
It's like,
Just sounded like you
let's
described
try
like
some
a,
challenge.
you described like trying to get
let's try
erection at
every tire.
50. You described trying to get erection at 50. Medium, hard soft.
Yeah. You know what? When that soft tire came on, not to Leclerc's car, in the top right of his visor, that's team achievement would have come. You know, you have used all tires in one race. Congrats.
Yeah, congrats. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. I mean, there is a philosophical question that somebody asked about, like, will things change and everything? And Ferrari has notoriously been a team-first team. Even in the Michael era and everything, the reason why drivers like Michael were able to really wrangle Ferrari into shape was because they built the team around them. Like everything, they were known to be team players, like first and everything, But it was always like Enzo Ferrari was notorious as somebody who was a hard ass on his drivers. It is a thing with this team that it's always been the team bigger than the drivers as well. However, in a previous era, I do see that like if shit like this was going down, heads would be fucking rolling, dude. Like
Jean Todt would never make that call.
This kind of, exactly. If you think about the sort of the glory days in the early 2000s, you would, if somebody fucked up like this, you knew family will pay the consequences or something like that. Like if they'll, the Italian media used to be so powerful. And so, like, these drivers used to get threats and things like that. The Ferrari and the country of Italy are sort of so closely linked together. Like, heads would roll, for shit like this. And maybe that's what we will see in this summer break.
Yeah, team first doesn't mean anything if your team is about to be third.
Exactly.
Very likely, by the way, if you're checking out our amazing Sidepod overlay, which has the constructors and the drivers and all of those things, and yet somehow with 1100 people watching, we have 280 likes.
That is disgusting.
We put overlay for you, we make jokes for you, we discuss for you, we be away from our families for you, we like Aditya comes and does like telemetry and shows you graphs and shit, and this
no likes.
No likes.
It's like Fernando when Ocon was defending him. He says, never I see anybody behave like this. Never in million years. At that moment, like I'm telling you, he changed his radio to Aston Martin at that time only and said, "Boss, main aa raha."
I'm going to very quickly again read out just some super chats and then I want to talk about that because that must have been quite a shock one for you guys. Daniel says, me following United and Ferrari really defines my taste as red, romantic and absolutely trash and painful. Accurate. Vedant says they removed Latifi's brake pedal in FP3. Abhishek says petition for Sainz to be Ferrari strategist. And Abhishek also says, despite Pirelli saying hards won't work, Alpine, McLaren and Ferrari do it anyway to prove whose strategies were worst. Also, Kushmaini finishes P3 in the F3 sprint, which we should also talk about. But so I mean, like in the sense, my observation over 16 episodes of this show, if I may, Arjun and Azeem, is that you have the same sort of relationship with Fernando Alonso that Sherry Shroff has with Lewis Hamilton. And how have you reacted to this amazing choice to be in this championship-winning car starting 2023.
No, this is all Ocon's fault. If he had not blocked him off on that first corner, if he had just driven normally, he would still be at Alpine. El Plan would still be on. Ocon. Yeah.
You have gone full. ये तुम्हारे ना सब तुम्हारे चिंटू की गलती है. मेरा राजू ना ये कभी नहीं करता.
Yeah, I mean, like you understand, Ocon has been told defend like a lion, but not from Fernando. Ocon, come on, please.
Yeah.
This is not how you do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was just very sad to see the Alpines just capitulating. But I mean, it sort of made sense in a way that I don't think Fernando ever planned to be at Alpine beyond this season. Considering his contract was up next season, and of course they do have Piastri available as a driver who I think would take that seat for Alpine next season. So maybe this was sort of like a domino effect. Maybe this is something that happened behind the scenes where Aston Martin told Seb that, hey, listen, you know what, we are approaching Fernando for next season, and that is what triggered the retirement, and maybe not vice versa. Because I don't think this is something that happens ki Seb has retired and within a week you just talk to Fernando and you have the contract and all of that.
Apparently, this is what Otmar Safnar says, is that he discovered this
Yes.
when he read the press release from Aston.
Yeah.
He's like, we
According
were talking
to something
to...
he said today, yeah.
Yeah. He's like, we were talking to Fernando about being here for next year as well. And all of this, like, which is the weird part about this, Azeem, is that, like, it is actually like the snowball effect of this, and you may be actually right in that could have been the final straw. Where on, like, fucking Sunday, he's like, shit, you know, fuck this. It's like how Lance Stroll did that move in France and Seb retired. This guy's like, nahi, mere ko idhar nahi khelna hai.
Is this going to lead to a problem in F1 where younger drivers realize that all they have to do is pull one shitty maneuver on their trigger a retirement?
Next week you see at Spa, bus stop chicane, George Russell blocks, Lewis Hamilton retires.
Lewis Hamilton, I would like to announce my retirement.
And then in the next race you'll see that Max Verstappen will block, Sergio Perez will block Max Verstappen, but then Sergio will be forced to retire.
Correct.
I mean, Fernando has never been the most erudite sort of team
yeah, he's never been a team player.
Yeah, and you know, I saw this meme.
No, Fernando Alonso's not, but he's got such a nice, friendly personality.
I saw this meme of the Infinity Gauntlet, and Fernando is like collecting all the stones. Like, he's been in so many teams, you know, like he's collecting all the stones. He's like literally Mercedes and like Alpha Tauri, maybe like the few teams that he's not sort of driven at. But he's never really. He is on track and off the track. He is that guy that like super like this is I'm going to maximize my situation, my personal situation on track with whatever machinery he gets, and off track it's like my personal situation. I want to be in Formula One for one more year. And I think I joked about it last time about like you know, maybe there was like a free private jet thrown in by the Stroll. Or something like that.
I agree with you there, Arjun. I definitely think it's a major money situation also, because I mean he's obviously close to retiring again. So I mean he's obviously looking at the best options available for the like last few years to kind of maximize that. Okay. Because he's been having such a good season. I mean, there's no real. I mean, like it's not like he's been doing badly with Alpine, and I mean with. Vettel, we obviously
he's definitely
saw
not going
that
to do as
he
well
was
with
struggling.
Aston Martin.
Yeah, that's
Who
what
knows?
I mean. It's
Look, I mean, I know Aston Martin have
unlikely.
these like long-term building plans, right? My understanding is, but that seems to be way more towards 2026 than it does towards any immediate this thing. And I'd be very surprised if Alonso's like, oh, my goal is 2027. That's when I'm getting back on my shit. That's when I'm fixing my life, and that's when I'm going to stop smoking, and that's when I'm going to get my degree. And
that's when he does medium, hard, soft. when he tries the medium hard soft.
Also, I think he's having like one of the best seasons he's had in the recent years. I mean, like, so I think like
it's very
from
competitive.
yeah.
But that's
from
down to the
that
car
space-
also. So
Yeah, but that's what I mean, to take a decision to leave that at this point where obviously he's seen, bad seasons
It's
in
almost
between
like
as
he's-
well.
it's a completely
Daniel
Ricciardo
Ricciardo
move, yeah. Like that double overtake is the furthest ahead Ricciardo's career has moved in the last 4 years.
But since you guys are such major Alonso fans, I want to ask you all how you all see it panning out. Like, what do you guys think the dynamic is going to be at Aston, and how is this going to work?
I
want to
don't
revisit
know,
your
man.
prophecy
Or
about
no?
Lance Stroll.
Yeah,
Lance
I think-
Stroll is
my
a
prophecy
tender
is
of
it's career. I think it's Alonso's last season in F1. 100%. Next season is probably Alonso's last season in F1. So
Yeah. No, but I think Alonso is now going to just go. He's going to take his onboard footage. Like he had the helmet cam also on, and he's going to take that helmet cam footage of this race and just take that video to them of Ocon saying कि कुछ भी करो ये नहीं चलेगा. Whatever you do to me in the next 2 years, this I will not tolerate. But no, I actually, you never know, yeah, with Aston Martin what their overall development plan is. Like considering when they were Racing Point last, they had a bullet car. I think they copied the wrong car this year. So when they copied the Mercedes, they got it right. When they tried to copy Red Bull, did not work.
Yeah.
Maybe if they try to copy a Ferrari, they'll do well because they have a slightly competent strategy
But that's the
to
Haas.
go with it.
But that's the Haas. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it was like this meme I saw that of like the two Aston Martin drivers, so Stroll and Alonso, standing there saying, if you don't support us when we finish 17th, you don't deserve us when we finish 13th. It's just... And it's going to be that, like, it's going to be a step back from Alpine, I feel. The reports did say that he went there because Alpine was only assuring him of 1 year's extension and Aston was potentially giving him multiple years. So that could be one of the factors as well. But yeah, I don't see it going particularly well, honestly. I think it's going to be one of those, his return to Renault type situation again.
I'm going to very quickly do super chats again. Because people are being very kind today. Ferrari featuring Gully Boy, both hard. Abhishek Verma said, Pirelli. Sahil said, do you think Max could have won last year if he wasn't as aggressive as he was? Is the reason he's so soft now because he knows he's in the clear? Mahesh says, me and my friend had a bet that if Ferrari will be double podium or not. I just didn't lose. I was embarrassed. Abhishek says, Ferrari are the Manchester United of the F1 community. And Jimil actually says Papa Stroll is getting F1 champions to teach his son how to drive.
Maximum coaching class.
And Maz says Ferrari strategy ensured Max could do a 360 victory donut before the checkered flag. I'm rooting for Red Bull versus Mercedes battle in the coming races. Yeah, in that sense, things very much back to what you would call the natural order of things in terms of it being Verstappen and Lewis at the front of the
Man,
grid.
we have to talk about Sherry Shroff, your boy.
Yeah.
Amazing.
He drove one hell of a race, man.
I think
he
he had a few more laps.
God.
I think he would have.
He
won.
drove
Like,
one
he was
hell of a
so
race.
close.
That
It
was
was
one of
a
those races where
classic.
he's like, this is why Lewis Hamilton.
Yeah, it was a classic. Yeah, I mean, just it made me think for the first time, and I mean, maybe it's just a passing thought. Is George Russell really a future world champion? I mean, I think he is. But
Yeah,
for the first time,
but-
the question actually came into my mind because, I mean, the situation. George actually had a great start. He pulled all the right moves and everything, and then he ended behind Lewis. Certainly, there were other factors at play and stuff like that. But Lewis Hamilton, holy smokes, that second and third stint is the reason why he won 7 world championships, or at least 6 of them with Mercedes. Knowing this, playing this tire management game on both the medium and then the soft at the end was like, it was one different level only. It was, I feel like
So
those
what you're saying
onboard...
is it's amazing what you can achieve if the whole team shows up to work that week. Wow.
Yeah, fully. It was epic, and I mean, what you must have been ecstatic.
I was thrilled, and I think it was also very exciting to watch because I feel like that him hunting Max down feeling kind of brought back last season where you were like, oh my god, this is what we're here for, and it was pretty exciting to kind of see that. And I think if we had a couple of laps more, we would have seen that battle, which would have been pretty epic again. And I think to see them race now, where they, as I said, they're both more mature. Even with, I feel like Max is giving drivers more room. He's definitely, we've discussed this even as saying this season that there is that it's a mature drive, and I feel like that is making it more exciting because it's less like unpredictable and like, oh my god, like when people are together and you're not sitting like it's more like it's more like okay,
But that's why we love F1, Sherry. It should always be like that.
I know, but as I don't like, I need some who's gonna ram into who, like that.
Did you guys see
Did
you see Toto's Bond villain face?
Oh yeah.
Did you see Toto's Bond villain?
But so I think
it's an interesting stat.
It's gonna look really amazing. I think post this break, we're gonna see that it's gonna get tighter. It's gonna just like now. Also, that I think you've seen that hunger that Lewis has got back now, and he's like in it. Yeah. Like, I mean, the first few races, obviously, you saw that.
I'd also just like to point out that there's just a 30-point difference in the constructors now. Ferrari to Mercedes, it's just 30 points. It's one race. It's one race of like at this rate, given how Ferrari is going, it's one race.
At this rate, it'll probably be Monza. So just to like compound matters or whatever, they'll probably cock it up even further over there.
Which brings us... Sorry, no, go on.
Yeah, sorry. No, just on Lewis and the last 5 races that Lewis has had.
Yeah.
It's like we were talking about...
Consistently,
Yeah, consistently. We were talking about the start of the season, how it was taking him some time to get up to speed and everything. He's showing he's on a different level. He has more podiums than Charles Leclerc has.
Exactly,
Like Lewis Hamilton has in that car, which we all widely believe is the 3rd fastest car on track right now,
Yeah.
So crazy. Yeah.
I think in terms of raw pace, there are 3 drivers who just distinctly stand out. There is Verstappen, there is Lewis and Leclerc. Leclerc has made mistakes this season, and we've seen that. He's dropped 30 points just on his own, more than 30, I think 32 points through his own mistakes, and it would be a lot closer. Like this is 80 points, the gap between him and Max. Now I think the title is pretty much done. I don't think anybody has turned around, barring catastrophe at Red Bull. I genuinely don't see.
I would like to point out though that there's regulation changes coming up. Like they all have to switch floors soon. Let's see what sort of impact that has on things.
Yeah, but I mean,
also,
even
guys,
with
I
that,
would like to add that my wild predictions did have some impact this week. They were on the wrong day, but
exactly.
But also, I mean, equally want to point out what an excellent drive from Max Verstappen as well. Again, starting 10th on the grid.
Yeah, beautiful drive.
Got that mega start again. Just did it, and I think the overtaking between Verstappen, between Leclerc, between Russell. The battle between Leclerc and Russell was phenomenal.
Yeah, I didn't know. I always wanted it. Yeah.
Like, and Russell, I think in general, he's one of those guys who I enjoy watching his like wheel to wheel battles. Like when he's battling, we've seen it before as well. Like when he's ahead, in fact, it's actually much better because I think he's a much better defensive driver than he is as an aggressor. Like he knows exactly where to position that car to on the apex to slow it down, and he did as much as he could with Leclerc. And again, the one with Leclerc and Max as well, where Max went all the way inside. You saw Leclerc first, Leclerc squeezing him, then him squeezing back. And again, the ability of both those guys to be that late on the brakes and still keep it on track and be fair and not have any kitbit about he pushed me offline or whatever. It was absolutely fantastic to see. And as somebody said in the chat as well, like Max had enough time to do a little donut.
360 and then...
Listen, somehow this race, Max started 10. And with about 15 laps to go, he was about 8 seconds ahead of George Russell in P2. You know,
Yeah.
at a circuit like Hungary, that is like unfathomable. Unless it has really poured down or something like that, some
Yeah.
extraneous
Unheard of. Yeah.
Deus ex machina has happened, and
Yeah.
like something has like sort of gone wrong over here. Like basically, Max started his summer break 15 laps before everybody else did. Like
Yeah.
a friend of mine sort of commented, he's like, Max undercut the summer break as well somehow, on this this race, and it showed his. I feel like also the moves that he made, to Sherry's point on the sort of evolution of Max, were a lot more mature. They left little less doubt in terms of the sort of lunges or whatever, the driving on track. And then just the overall Red Bull strategy. Have you guys heard about the Red Bull engineer, Hannah Schmitz?
Yeah.
Who's the one who's on the pit wall, who orchestrates this strategy. They've been on point this year, and this race was a particular peak for from a strategy standpoint. Even the part where, I mean, certainly Max's error and doing the donuts was cute and everything, but even the part where Max had to get past Perez to get on Charles's ass, something like that at Ferrari would have taken maybe 4 laps for them to have figured out, that like, oh, there's a guy on faster tires coming behind. Let's make some pasta. Let's decide this in
basically it comes back to the same. It comes back to the same thing, right? You've got these 3 teams, all right, and you've got Red Bull, which started the season with slight unreliability, but everybody else just sort of hunkered down, locked shit down. Their strategy, their pit calls are outstanding, like genuinely good overall. They're showing up to work every single week. On the other side, you've got Mercedes, who started with arguably a terrible car, and from everything I have read, it says that car is a nightmare to set up every week apparently. Like, it's a pain in the ass, and still somehow they are showing up, they are getting it done, and they are better every week than they were the previous week. And in the middle,
you have the office. You have the office.
You have the office.
You have Michael Scott and Dwight. Guys try to run a Formula 1 team,
Just super chats. Daniel says, all I needed in Ferrari pit, sala why bhi nahi hai. Rohan says, Ralf Schumacher mentioned in an interview that Binotto may not be back after summer break. That would be very dramatic. Anirudh says, nowadays it's not Ferrari, it's Fakrari. Cool. Nilanjan says, let us also appreciate Seb's P18 to P10 in that green ambassador. That is true.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And I think again that was a case of Stroll not having the right tires or not being able to manage his tires or something like that. But I think Seb had a great drive going 18 to 10th. As I said, like everybody who started with that medium soft strategy, it was absolutely the best strategy to be on. So even for Max, the reason why he was so slow at the end is because strategically he did not have that advantage of the faster tires. At the end, he had to be slow, and particularly in the wet, though it's even worse to be on one medium tires. So with Seb, I think he did a great job. Pierre Gasly also had a pretty decent drive at the end. Finished 13th by the end of it? 12th by the end of it. 12th. Having finished pretty much dead last after that. Yuki Tsunoda, I think, had a shit race. Latifi did not finish 16th, unfortunately. And who else did we have who had I think Ricciardo had a very, very bad race. The entire incident with Stroll and everything, very bad. Lando Norris quietly did his job, got up to 7th place as well. After all the drama of the hards, the Alpine still finished 8th and 9th only. And this is the larger question, again coming back to the Leclerc thing, that once you have put him on the hards, why are you again putting him behind 3 places? No, just let him use the tires. You have put him on a slow tire, and now you're putting him 20 seconds further behind also. When he said that he was happy on the current tire, it's truly baffling. And actually, I'm struggling to remember, why did Sainz finish that far back with the 2 botched pit stops, mainly, that cost him.
He got overcut by George on the and then both the pit stops he paid the price to Leclerc as well.
Yeah, I mean, I think he finished 2 seconds behind Russell. Yeah, so without the 4 seconds that the pit stop cost him, technically he was 2
could have
seconds
been
behind
on
Hamilton. He could have been second. Yeah.
He could have been on the podium at least. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, somehow they went from P2 and 3 to off the podium, which.
Yeah. But Red Bull, their strategy is just this season particularly, like earlier, I think it was always Mercedes who was the master of the strategy, that every time, everything they tried to pull off, inevitably, it was like you would think that no, Red Bull have done this, it'll work, and no, Mercedes somehow just comes storming back at the end of the race. I think the first time we saw that switch was at Paul Ricard last year. When you saw Verstappen then finally do the multiple stop and pit and overcut and get it. Yeah.
But Azeem, I'm going to have to bite my tongue and say this, but I also feel like them getting it right and Max is the lethal combo, because it's not always happening with Perez. I mean, we're not seeing that, like it's not like a 1-2-1-2 situation. Like, I mean, I'm saying even with the Mercs, you see that it's flipping George and Lewis here, there, but they are close always. But somehow with Perez and Max, you see that difference. It's quite
but inevitably, all world champions have had a sacrificial second driver everywhere you look at it.
No. But as I mean, in terms of strategy, sometimes I feel like with Perez, they're not getting it right off it. Whereas with Max, it's
I think
this is
I think their strategy is to just keep Perez in places where he can be useful if Max fucks up.
For Max,
the moment he spun, Perez is there. Nahi bhai, aap jao, main Russell ko piche rakh raha hai. Main idhar hi bhai. Who else?
But I mean, it was overall also like, I think, Hungary again typically has not been the most exciting of races, though in the last 2 years now, if you would just look
very
at
good.
The thing has been there. But also one of the reasons I feel like it was made this much more exciting is because these regulations seem to be working.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like, I mean, one of the reasons Max was in play for so long is
Sorry, he's being shouty. So,
one of the reasons Max was in play for so long is because typically what happens when a race begins, you have a sort of field spread. Just because of the sort of nature that 20 cars cannot occupy the same place on track, you'll have sort of spread. And with the aero and everything, that field spread used to be large. For the first 10 or 15 laps, I think the first 6 places were all within 10 seconds of each other. Which made it like very compelling in terms of like Max was actually the aggressor. Like his second early pit stop put the pressure on Ferrari, like who were maybe like 4 places ahead of him. At that point in time, to take this call that Charles will come in and put on the hard tires.
And if they had actually just stayed on their own strategy, it would have just worked.
Probably would have worked out, But that's I mean, these aero regulations have made these kind of things possible. And I also feel like typically a 2-stop race, a race that can have the potential of 2 stops, strategically makes it more exciting than a 1-stop race. Like in general, like we had Heidegg, I mean, whatever, this time at Hungary, but typically like a 1-stop race leaves such low potential for doing anything meaningful with strategy also.
And
but 2-stop really worked out.
And also the entire, like you could see how easy it was to pass compared to last year. Because you saw Alonso with Hamilton last year on the hard tires, on the wrong tires basically. Managed to keep him behind for so long purely because you would lose like half a second following through the rest of the track, which was not happening over here. And I think Red Bull recognized that. I think Ferrari and Alpine fell into that same track of Alpine were like, we'll do 1 stop, we'll fucking keep everybody behind us. But then realized that we can barely keep it on track ourselves. How will we keep people behind us? And similarly with Ferrari, like Max did his early stops, he stormed through and overtook people again. He did what needed to be done, and I think Ferrari just did not have the confidence to do that, which is surprising considering they have the best package overall still.
I mean, there is this interesting place that Max is in going into the last. So there's 9 races to go. Max already has 8 wins in the season. It's not inconceivable that in the last 9 races he could win perhaps 5 more, and if he does, then he equals Michael Schumacher and Sebastian Vettel's record for the most race wins in a particular season. This kind of a stat happens very rarely. I mean, Lewis has had successful seasons where he's had 10, 11, like sort of.
Yeah. But also there are way more races in the calendar now.
In the calendar,
so that's a little skewed.
the opportunity is there. But like it could be one of those kind of like sort of dominating seasons. It's not inconceivable.
I fully foresee that by episode 22 we're going to be talking about football and cricket because this is just like that's how many different ways can we say Max Verstappen too good. But okay. On that note, should we bring out our telemetric? Does anybody else have any thoughts? I would very quickly like saying that the rumors today are all over the place. They're saying Piastri potentially to McLaren, and Alpine is all like, no, how dare he? We shan't.
Danny Rick to Alpine.
And Danny Rick to Alpine apparently. That's the move. That's the move. It was always going to be a piggyback, guys.
Cyril
he was always deep cover. Well. He was always deep cover, and Cyril also comes back.
Yeah, comes back. He's got tattoos on his face now. He comes back as Post Malone.
And this deal was made possible by Netflix. Netflix tracked this deal for them. That'd be epic.
Oh man, that would be amazing. But on that note, can we please have joining us telemetric wizard now in same time zone as us, Mr. One and only, Mr. One and only, live from.
Yeah, you just come to India and the lighting quality reduces.
Live from Fiorano. Live from Fiorano.
Just stick your hand out.
I am not in Maranello. I am.
You're not in Maranello? Oh, damn.
You're too competent to be there.
Let us see.
No CV? Okay.
I was like, I'm just going to call upon and be like,
why don't rocket engines melt? What a great search. Pac-Man 30th anniversary.
I was just going to be like, Aditya, शुरू हो जाओ. क्या कितना घटिया है Ferrari? Now in numbers. Now in graphs.
That is the only thing I want to talk about. So I said, let me not talk about that and start with this guy. Okay. Like, this was like Verstappen winning and Ferrari, and then this were the highlights of the weekend for me. Like, if you guys saw FP2, they were 8, 10, 11, somewhere there, both the ladies. And apparently Andrew Shovlin said they went for a whole different setup, probably something they've never tried this season. Everything went horribly wrong. And even George said after the pole, he was like, we were here till midnight on Friday, just trying to fix stuff. And then they came back for FP3, start raining. They were still like, he'd do one lap. I think he went out and didn't even do a lap, came back in, started fixing stuff again. And going from that to pole, like, I was like, what are they changed? And even in the interview, he was like, obviously, I'm not going to tell you guys what we changed, but theory time. So this is one of my favorite photos in Formula One. I don't know if you guys have seen this. This is 2016 Japan Rosberg. Right? And this randomly put this because.
Sorry, do you mean 2016 world champion Nico Rosberg who defeated Machinery? Just checking. Sorry, just checking.
So setup trade-off in Hungary is like, you got to protect the rears is a big thing in Hungary, and for that it's like you set the car up normally, the rears struggle. If you're going for a lot more oversteer, it's obviously going to struggle a lot more. So, like Rosberg has said it himself. I don't know if it was on YouTube or when he was racing. He was like, I'm probably not going to out-qualify Lewis. So for Saturday, I'm just going to set it up to be understeery, and this helps me in the race, not in qualifying. So he's going to qualify P2, but it's going to help him in the race, right? Because you don't have to spend 20 seconds in another pit stop. So I feel like Russell did not preserve the rears, which is also why he got pole, but also why he had problems in the race behind Lewis.
That is a very interesting theory. I like this theory, and I can see it also play out like in the race. This is how it totally played out because he was struggling. Yeah, on the tires. And gosh, you have some data also to
And
show us
on
over
the whole lap, I want you guys to guess, like, what do you see? Like, this is a very weird photo. Like, obviously, blue is dominated by Russell. Reds are Carlos Sainz, who was like 0.004 seconds off. And what do you see here?
So they've got the maximum corner speed is high for Sainz everywhere.
Yeah, he's optimized for traction, basically.
Also, do you see how, like, let's take the first sector. Pretty much everything is blue. Like, even the middle one was sure. But then you see how the delta is like Sainz is still faster.
Crazy.
Yeah.
This is, and also another thing, like, this is where I put the line, which is here. This is all high-speed corners, where Ferrari is supposed to be faster, but that's where Russell starts picking it up.
Amazing! What an analysis!
Wow.
Aditya, take
and also
10 points to Gryffindor.
And then also, I know that Sector 3 in Hungary is very demanding on the rears, and you see how Russell lost the rears because all his gains, like, this was 1.5 tenths, and then he loses it towards the end also. So this is a speculative theory, but I have proof.
Yeah, I think he also, out of the top 6, was on the oldest tires starting the laps.
Yeah.
So his softs were already 3 laps old, if I'm not wrong, before the race started. So I think that's another factor of more
wear. Played into it, yeah. But interesting, like, and especially given that, like, you know, typically we've been saying is like the Ferrari's been one of the fastest cars in a straight line. So yeah, amazing, Aditya. Enthrall us with your
tell more
data points.
This is all the happiness that I've got because this is the story of the race, and I'll take you through like sections of it, and these are all the pit stops. I usually put a different graph where it shows you the difference in lap time a lot more, but here you can see the pit stops better. Like these triangles, this is where they went into pit.
Yeah. Rohan, is there somewhere you can sync like Seinfeld bass slapping music to what he's saying right now?
Benny Hill music.
You know, or Benny Hill music.
Benny Hill music. Benny Hill music. No problem.
I mean, you know.
Just sad.
So the first round of pit stops, obviously starting on the mediums is not bad. Like that wasn't the problem. But so you see this, I think this was Perez with an earlier stop, lap 19. Hamilton goes medium to medium, lap 20. And then 22 is where Leclerc, still not wrong, medium to medium. Alonso makes his mistake, medium to hard. But you see the lap 22 where you didn't make the mistake, Alonso has already made the mistake for you. I think the next lap it was Ocon making that stop. So now starting from here, all these laps you go, all of these laps you watch them.
With your own eyes. This is the Google Maps strategy. They went right. It was off a cliff, but you know.
Guys, the data you see.
The data.
The data you see.
Ye French data does not apply to Italian.
We had 17 laps of like this is, I think Alonso and Ocon both maybe 2 and something seconds off, and you have to account for Alpine being a slower car, but still it's not 2.5 seconds off per lap. And you've been watching, I think Magnussen was on hards lap 6 or something, and you've got all the data in the world. This is lap 40 and they're like, no, hards anyway.
Just wild.
So terrible.
Just
it's can we salvage this?
Yeah, the last pit stop for no reason.
Where they were like,
that-
okay, Charles, go 10th place and fastest lap. Come on, it's better than
you
4th
can do
place,
this.
obviously.
Yeah.
Just amazing.
Especially when you realize that like a lap after is when Perez went on to the mediums. Or do 42 to 70
Yeah.
on medium. You got hard.
Yeah.
Like they're gonna suffer at the end. And
Yeah.
this is normal
my God.
behavior from Lewis Hamilton. Soft,
Oh my
Yeah.
medium, soft. And then this is
That
this
was
public embarrassment and admission of defeat, saying medium, hard, and then soft.
I think they were just I think they were just scared of the radio calls that would start coming 2 laps later from him, saying, guys, the tires are shit, guys, the tires are shit. They're just like, we'll give him good tires here. Let's see.
And he didn't even get fastest lap, did he?
Exactly.
No fastest.
Just, I think his
Perez get
morale
two
was
got
just
fastest lap?
shattered by then.
I think Lewis got.
Hamilton,
He was
no?
not fastest lap.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah.
He was blistering.
Yeah.
That last stint was amazing.
He was just, I think Leclerc was just shattered after the Hards call. Like, I don't think he was interested in the race anymore.
Yeah.
Like, was it true that they were actually laughing about the fact that Ferraris were on hards in the cooldown area?
I think
All
Were
the
they?
3 drivers?
it wasn't actual laughing, but it was Hamilton asking, were they really on the hard? And they were like, yeah.
Yeah.
No, it
Which
was also
is
they-
pretty laughing.
Yeah. They all were like, did you guys think about the hards? And everybody was like, no.
No.
Yeah, no.
Honor said before the race, like on the
Yeah.
installation lap, on the way to the grid, they were like, anything but the hearts, we've
Hearts,
decided,
yeah,
like, put them
yeah.
out, put them away.
Yeah.
And even Leclerc on the radio,
You know, one more reason why global warming has had this impact on Formula One, I feel. New aero regulations and global warming, guys. This like little fuck all, like temperature being little low and everything really spiced things up once again.
No, usually Arjun S Ravi, I agree with you, but I'm going to stick to my original point of Ferrari were stupid.
yeah, that also. Yeah, that also. Yes. Yeah.
Mostly that.
Mostly that.
Yeah.
Yeah. This one time in the
Yeah.
last several years, climate change is off the hook, you know? This one time.
Yeah. I mean, the climate should be changing at Maranello, certainly from like a simmer into like a full boiling pot. But who knows what is going
Nothing
on?
is al dente.
but then there's no like admission of any mistake.
That's the thing. But like,
Yes.
you know, it's not. You know, this is the thing. Enzo Ferrari would not stand for this. Like, I'm telling you, heads would have rolled.
But
Like,
this-
the Italian people would not have stood for this.
And Charles Leclerc shouldn't stand for this.
Charles Leclerc should too.
Leclerc to Alpine, guys. Let's go.
Let's do this.
Let's
Let's do this.
no.
But you see how Charles makes a mistake and it's like he takes it right away. Like in the
Yeah,
driver
yeah.
interview, in the pen, he's like, that was my mistake last race.
Yeah. Yeah.
Guys, what is the likelihood that we see Charles Leclerc coming on Instagram now with just an IGTV video, just sitting down on a chair,
Black and
saying,
white.
guys, my favorite color is blue. It's been a good run. I want to spend time with my children.
I want to spend time with Sebastian Vettel's children. I don't want to anything that
I
is
would
not
rather-
this. I will
He and I really got loud. Yeah.
Poor guy, man.
Oh,
Poor guy.
man. Even
No,
Carlos, man, like we keep forgetting. I mean, poor guy, him also. He's so like bechara and
Yeah.
Pavam also. Like he's to like actively had to scream at his team. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
oh man.
I'm telling
We
you,
need-
watch
they
that
need to
video.
add and
Watch that video. वो last वाला minute ही देखो, चलो. Like, and that melancholic music that plays when the Carlos Sainz is talking on the team radio, wondering like why was Verstappen so fast? Why did the hards not work? Why are we evaporating Iron Man? Can somebody save me? Like, you know,
Mattia, I don't feel so good.
I don't feel so good.
These tires don't feel so good.
What is happening? You know?
Oh,
Oh man.
Yeah, I think there is a T-O missing in Binotto's name because he is B, not Toto. He is not that guy.
Oh my days.
This joke was
Yes.
brought to you by Ferrari.
Yes. I was going to stick my hand out to see how the reaction to that was.
Read the room, man. Read Just like this.
What is Chat saying about? I mean, Chat seems to be agreeing with us, right? About our assessment of Ferrari is not too harsh, right? We're not being like
No.
extra
We are being nice,
No,
in fact.
We are,
to
in
them.
fact, our assessment of Ferrari could not be harsh. Because I remember the first few episodes of this podcast. We were on like a new red dawn is upon us.
Wow. Oh, wow.
And
Golden days
all
are
Italian
back.
now. And how fast we've come to. So, Max, then.
Yeah.
Good chap. It's not.
Yes.
Yeah, no.
It's sad.
It's.
I mean, somebody mentioned about Maini's P3. Yes, Arjun Maini had a great. Not
Yes.
Arjun Maini, sorry, his brother Kush Maini.
Kush Maini, yeah.
Kush Maini had a cool sprint race, and Jehan had a really weekend to forget. The summer break will not come soon enough. I think he's going to be in India as well. Like he's coming back to Bombay.
He's already back, I think.
Is he back already? Okay, cool.
अरे
So if you
ऐसा-
see him
Indian
on the
लोगों का
streets of
वीजा
Bombay,
मतलब छोटा वीजा मिलता है
Adda plan.
But with that, we go into summer break, and if I told you at the start of the season that Gunter Steiner is probably going into summer break a happier man than Matteo Binotto, would you have believed me?
I would not.
I would not
I would
believe
not.
you.
But then Mattia doesn't think there's anything to be changed, so he's happy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what
I mean,
if we
that's
come
what
back
it's
and
like.
Ferrari wins? Then what happens?
Nothing
Ferrari
happens.
wins what?
Good.
Ferrari wins
Just
what?
one.
Yeah.
What?
Ferrari wins hearts. No,
Yeah.
no, but like
It's
Ferrari
not
wins
possible,
either
buddy.
the
It's
constructors
not possible
or,
with,
or drivers'
I mean,
championship.
it
not
would be
The
possible.
comeback of
amazing.
all comebacks.
Yeah, it would be amazing if there was some redemption arc to this, because if you think about it, it's still widely considered to be the fastest car, right? We
Yes.
all think like that the Ferrari is genuinely the fastest car out there, right? So it's no more a function of the driver getting it right, the reliability sticking around, the strategy calls being great and everything. So in this very idealistic scenario where also fucking, like chocolate is growing on trees and like, the roads in Bombay are like amazing. In this like fictional universe that we're living in, where all these things are working for Ferrari, it would be lovely to have this redemption arc for the team.
Redemption is right. Redemption. You have accidentally said the correct word. You know what? Dumb just comes when people start talking about Ferrari at this point, because it's just gotten there.
What ifs and all. Let's do, since we normally do our predictions. As per predictions, which team do you think is going to come back cracking post summer? Like, as in, I mean,
So I need to
based
meditate on
everything.
this. I need to meditate on this over the next 3 weeks before.
Shut
I
down.
make
But
such
it
predictions.
is.
I need to
It's
meditate.
going to be Mercedes who's going to come back with a
Yeah.
bang.
Yes. Sherry just won the
Although-
whole.
yeah.
Sherry has steered this entire conversation here just to
But
say
not
that,
at
and
Spa.
Azim, you have
I-
taken away her moment of
I just
glory
want to say not
by
at
saying
Spa
that.
though, because कितना bounce होएगा वो इतना लंबा straight देख के Lewis Hamilton will be getting massage done 1 week in advance.
Back pain will happen.
Yeah. So, I mean, everything points to Red Bull, unless these regulation changes have some major effect, but everything would point to Red Bull continuing to be dominant at Spa. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Mercedes
I mean,
might
it would
have
be
a
very
trick up their
nice
sleeve.
for, in general, I would really like to see Ferrari make it more competitive, but all
Yep.
signs indicate to that competition coming back at Red Bull at Mercedes than Ferrari, in terms of,
Yeah, I wish
Both
Science
the
wishes
worlds
he
have
was
the
at
same.
Mercedes. Is correct.
yeah.
I would like to end with a song
Mm.
for my friends at Ferrari. Hakuna Mattea. What a wonderful phrase. Hakuna Mattea. Ain't no passing phrase. It means no worries.
No, I
for
said it
the
means
rest
no
of your
victories
days.
for the
no
rest of your
victories
days.
also. That's
It's
pretty
our
much.
problem-free strategy.
Hakuna Matata.
I think there's some super chats left.
Oh yeah, there.
And,
Yes.
yeah.
Amit says, is it possible to make 2 Drive to Survive seasons from this year? Soham says, bring back Maurizio. And Kunal says, possible to put the show on Apple Podcast too. We will get on that actually in the summer break. Karan says, some rain and Gotifi would have had his day. Of course. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I think we're all caught up. We got about 1,100 people watching, 893 likes. Come on, guys, just smash that like button. Take us over 1,000. Good things will happen for everybody. On that note,
Except for Ferrari.
Except for Ferrari.
But maybe for Haas. If you
Maybe
like
for
this
Haas.
video,
Yes,
for Haas.
yes. Maybe for Haas and maybe for Sidepod sponsorship.
Yes.
At Haas eventually. Other than that, we are heading into summer break, friends. Any announcements that will tide us over
As
the
always.
next couple of weeks? Azeem, you are in.
Azeem will do announcements for us
I will do
all.
announcements.
Yes. Azeem.
Yes.
Tado.
Yes, I am leaving for. I am going on actual summer break and going. I'll be doing shows in London 15th to 20th. So please check on Instagram. I was going to do a show in Amsterdam, but then I was like, I would rather do other things.
You're a fool if you do a show in
yes.
Amsterdam. If you think about
Exactly.
working when you get there.
Exactly. So that's why I decided to cancel only beforehand.
I'll call you. I'll give you recommendations later. No,
Yes.
Cool.
Yes, and yeah, I think nothing major apart from that. So for people who are asking, will return tomorrow, and we have a no, I won't spoil the surprise, but yeah, we have something for tomorrow, which will be fun.
Amazing. Arjun, any announcements?
No, please go and buy tickets for Azeem's tour in the UK.
Sherry, any announcements?
No, none. Same. Go for Azeem show and follow everybody, subscribe to everybody, and have a good summer break.
Yeah.
Aditya.
Also, I had a great message
Aditya,
that
any
was sent to me. Before Aditya makes his announcements, I have to
Taking
say,
over
there was a
the
great
world.
message, that was sent to me saying, Aditya Bhat, catching up to your Instagram followers, please defend like a lion.
Nice.
And
Well,
yes, that's
I didn't have an announcement, but now I've got to deploy my battery also.
Yeah,
So,
go for it.
protect.
What
yes,
is your
like,
announcement?
subscribe, and get him more cred sponsorship. Get all of us cred sponsorship, guys. Come on.
Yes, let's do it. Let's get that happen. My announcement is that this stream is now over. Thank you everybody for joining. This has been fun. We will see you in 3 weeks, I guess, with a preview of the next race, a review of the next race. We will figure it out. But we'll see you somewhere around the end of summer break. Until then, stay safe, have fun, and whatever you do, just don't follow the Ferrari.
Al dente.